Well, hello there. Welcome to the Obi Thorin Alliance, our first live stream for the year. We are so excited to be back, and we are doing so. What have you been watching? And a very you would think we would be talking about Marvel, but we're actually talking about DC. Thought we would change it up a little bit. So, what have you been watching, Lou?
Me. So since we last did one of these, what have I been watching? I've been started watching The Studio through your recommendations. So I've watched maybe 3 episodes of that.
And what's your thoughts?
I'm enjoying it. I find Seth Rogen's character a bit goofy, which I think is a bit odd. I don't think I don't buy that he would be in the high position he is because of how goofy he is.
Do you prefer his character in The Studio or in Platonic?
I think Platonic is kind of like him in every other movie he makes, and role that he plays. So that feels more comfortable. This is kind of him, but also like to the point of, well, he's not a stoner in this like he is in other things, but he's also like, I don't know. I just don't buy him being successful a bit, which is odd because he clearly is successful in real life, but it just doesn't seem to. I don't buy his character in that. What else I've been watching? Movie-wise, I watched The Housemaid. Obviously, lots and lots of people have been talking about that movie. I thought it was just okay. The best, it was maybe like the attraction was there was a few gory scenes, a couple of pretty like full-on sex scenes. I guess that's what people got kind of worked up about. All in all, the writing was a bit, plot convenient and, predictable. I think as someone that watches a lot of movies, I felt like I knew what was going to happen, opposed to like people that may not. They were like blown away by these twists, but they weren't anything new, and I could kind of see everything coming.
What would you give it out of 10 or 5 stars?
I think I would rate it pretty high, like
okay.
maybe an 8, because it tried something unique, and it was definitely well made and interesting. But I don't think it blew me away in the sense that everything felt very predictable. At the end, there was too many things I could pull apart and go, that wouldn't happen, that's stupid. So whilst watching the movie, I was engaged. I was kind of on the edge of my seat, kind of. Even though I predicted what was going to happen, there's still like the chance that you may have got it wrong. So I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I reckon it's one of those movies I would watch a second time, but that's about it. Obviously, Sydney Sweeney is a big draw card to wanting to watch it. I think her and No Amanda Seyfried we chuck in Two Unknowns. I don't think that movie gets any watch time. So
could you tell it was based off a book, or it
very much felt like a book? For some reason, certain books don't transition well into once you put a script there. The wording and the way things were said and the lines, it felt like a book. It felt like someone was reading it out to you, opposed to people actually being there in the moment doing it. And I'm not going to criticize the acting. I just think that that's how it happens when a book transitions. My biggest nitpick with the movie is the fact that no one would stick around through the things this housemaid went through, except for they had to put this one little like clause in there because she's an ex-criminal, that if she doesn't do what they say, then she's going back to jail. And I just don't think that's enough reason for someone to put themselves in the danger she was. So that's my biggest nitpick. I think in the real world, no one would do that. They would choose jail, or they would explain to the police their circumstance. So it was quite interesting.
Writer's convenience.
Yeah, definitely. So that kind of annoyed me. Also, you chuck in this, extremely attractive character, and you're like, yeah, she's a hard crim. She's been in there for 10 years. She went in there for killing someone. And you're like, I don't buy it. I know I'm not saying that good-looking people can't be murderers, but it's just, I don't know, a bit convenient for me.
Would you have believed it more if she had tattoos, or if they cast someone differently, or?
I think so. I think if you had someone that was a bit more rough, but I guess her reasoning for going to jail was that she saw someone being raped and she stepped in and she like hit the person in the head, but then continued on to the point of killing them. And basically she would have probably wouldn't have went to jail, but she's saying she did because her friend said that's not what happened. Her friend that was being raped was like, no, she didn't do. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. So then they just seen it as murder opposed to trying to save someone who's being raped. So I don't know. It's a bit convenient for me. So I've done all the talking. Tell me some things you've been watching.
So I've been watching actually 2 shows on Netflix lately. One of them is called Hit and Run, what is also based on a book, and it's a fine show. It's got the actor from The Punisher, so that's cool. And it's also got the actress that plays Valkyrie in Thor Ragnarok and Thor Love and Thunder. So it's
Is it cool? His and hers, or
his and hers.
Oh, okay.
So it's a fine mini series, but I just felt it. The problem is that this is spoilers for if you've seen the show, but unfortunately, I didn't find the show compelling how it ended because unfortunately it goes. The main character unfortunately gets raped, and then the mother, for whatever reason, I didn't find it made sense for the mother to go against the people watching. Instead, I would have found it more made sense for her to go against the rapists. Instead, she went against the females. So for me, I'm like, oh, that doesn't really make sense. And then at first, it made you thought it was the husband, and then it was very. I was hoping it was going to be the one that actually got raped, but unfortunately, it wasn't. And then, so it's a fine show if you want to watch something that's quick and easy. That is 6 episodes. And then The Runaway is also a book as well. That it's a British show, and the concept is that the daughter, she's a runaway from the title, and that she actually gets raped herself, and then she gets helped from, we don't know it at the time, but someone helps her, and then they get into a bad relationship with drugs and things and that nature. And then the father tries and finds who the killer is for the person that did it to prove who, so it wouldn't be the daughter. But unfortunately, there's other things. There's a cult involved. And the problem with the show is that I found it unbelievable that it's a show that makes you go, the police don't do the job properly. The person that's the civilian does the better job than the police. Well, there seems to be a lot of shows like that. So that's a fine limited series. So they're the 2 main shows I've been watching, and also watching The Mentalist the 3rd time as well.
Is there anything that's out or recently came out that you're like, what are you going to watch next?
Probably get into Wonder Man and Fallout. I started it but didn't continue it.
Yeah, I would have said the exact same things. I saw the trailer for Wonder Man the day before it came out, and I was like, oh, this looks really cool. I'm keen to watch that. Fallout, I don't know why I haven't watched it yet, because I love the first season. I think I don't know. I'm just I'd say kind of like, I know as soon as I watch it, I'm going to want to keep watching it. So I'm just like holding out on it. So I really want to watch Fallout. I do need to finish The Bear, and I need to finish The Studio. Anything that's coming out soon you're looking forward to, like the next month or so?
Probably looking forward to the next Marvel project. Looking forward to the new Spider-Man movie coming out. I think it's coming out in June. It's quite a lot of things that I'm looking forward to, but see when it comes out.
Yeah. Is there any movie that came out last year that you regret not seeing in cinemas?
Definitely Warframe.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Warfare's
Okay,
good.
any movie that you haven't seen and you wish you saw it now, but now it's like not available. Like for instance, I'm thinking I wish I saw Begonia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with Emma Stone. I know it'll be available soon to watch, but I really wanted to see that in the cinemas and I didn't get a chance to. Is there anything that you wanted to see and you haven't, and like it came out last year?
That's a hard one. We got a comment.
Let's put the comment up.
Thank you.
Useless Skills says, I'm looking forward to Wonder Man as well, watching it this weekend for sure. Hope you guys review it if you get to watch it. Definitely finish the studio. What are you doing with your life? Well, I'm just a bit too busy, but I do want to watch it. If I'm going to be honest, I've been playing SpongeBob game on my PlayStation, but that's why I haven't been watching it. But yeah, last year, I wish I saw Begonia. I'm desperate to see Marty Supreme, but luckily that's still at the cinemas. So fingers crossed I get to see that before it goes to streaming because I don't want to miss out on seeing that. What else came out last year that I didn't see that everyone else seemed to have watched? Yeah, Begonia is probably the one that comes to mind that I wish I got to see. It probably is available now to watch somewhere, but
It is on Flickster.
yeah. So I just I wish I saw it in the cinemas. I just feel like it would have been a good cinema movie to watch.
Yeah,
yeah. So
it's a great movie.
okay, so should we move into our versus competition?
Yes.
Explain how it works and what's the logic behind it.
So the versus competition is that we put a group of movies together and then they do battle against each other, and then whoever wins, I was actually thinking we would make a series, and whoever wins in this category will do like Marvel or a sci-fi category, and whoever wins in this category, we'll find out whoever wins in Marvel, and then we'll see, and then they'll do battle.
Okay, so we've picked the top 16 movies. These are the not necessarily the 16 favorite. Most of them are our favorite, and then there's a few doozies we chucked in just for some entertainment value. But yeah, it's quite hard to pick a top 16 of movies, but we put them in there, randomly pair them against each other, and we will knock them out as we go. So through randomness, the first battle, we have Joker, the Joker versus Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Don't even have to think about the Joker.
Yeah, I agree. I enjoyed the first Shazam. The second one really, really let me down.
Yeah.
The Joker is maybe one of my favorite movies of all time. So I think that's a movie that's probably going to run pretty deep in this competition.
It is.
So I think we can both unanimously agree that Shazam is going home early.
Would love the audience to comment, did we get round one right?
Okay, so the second battle in the first round, we've got Wonder Woman versus Batman versus Superman. So
Wonder Woman.
Again, yeah, I think the first Wonder Woman was very, very solid. I have mixed views on the first one. Batman versus Superman is decent. I don't hate as much as other people, but I think the first Wonder Woman was a very, very good origin story.
It is.
Admittedly, I knew very little about Wonder Woman going into watching that movie. So I didn't know the whole Amazonian thing, so I really enjoyed that. Okay, battle number 3. We've got The Batman, so most recently from 2022 with Rob Pattinson. You don't have that poster up today?
No.
Up against Wonder Woman 1984.
The Batman.
Again, it's a pretty easy, clear-cut one here. We've got obviously The Batman, again, one of my absolute favorite movies. Batman in general is obviously I absolutely love. And then I thought the second Wonder Woman absolutely made no sense.
Yes.
I actually feel bad the fact that Pedro Pascal has put his name to such a poor project because he's far too good of an actor to be part of that.
We've got other comments.
Yes, so Useless Skills has said, so far, so good. This is a great segment. Thank you. So, battle number 4, we've got Aquaman up against Shazam.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's probably the tightest one so far.
It is.
Again, Shazam, I knew very little going into it. Really enjoyed the movie. Aquaman is still, I think, I don't love the character that much. I find Jason Momoa a bit annoying, but I did think the first Aquaman had quite a good story. I think it was probably a better villain story than what we had in Shazam. So I'm going to go Aquaman. What are you thinking?
I'm actually thinking Shazam. I think it's more rewatchable movie, and I think it's also serious but fun at the same time. And I think the second Aquaman is a very disappointing movie with how it ends. What Shazam, I think they'll keep for the new universe. What Aquaman is, Jason Momoa is playing a new character.
I'm willing to swap. I was quite on the fence. I enjoyed them both evenly. I guess we need to equally agree.
You don't want to use GBT or scissor paper rock?
No, I'm happy to swap. I like both just as good as each other. I think I always liked the kind of politicalness of the Aquaman movie, but if I had to pick one tonight to watch, I reckon I'd probably give Shazam a watch, because I'm kind of intrigued to rewatch it, where I feel like Aquaman I've seen enough times. So I'll swap my vote and I'll agree with Aquaman. Okay, our fifth battle. We've got Superman from 2025, Jacob's least favorite movie of last year.
Yeah.
Up against the Justice League, the latest Justice League, not
Snyder's Cut.
Yes, correct. Sorry, I was thinking of Suicide Squad. Yes, the Snyder's Cut Justice League.
I'm going to go the Snyder's Cut.
I really didn't like the Snyder's Cut at all. I didn't like either of the Justice League. I know you really dislike Superman. I thought the Superman movie was decent. The only thing I didn't like was the other characters inside the movie. I thought were a bit gimmicky and stupid, but I actually like Superman itself. So I think I prefer Superman over Justice League. Plus, I could watch the Superman twice before the Justice League movie finished.
Should we give the tying vote to the audience?
I'm willing to, if depends how long it takes him to respond. So we'll move on. If you can help us decide between Superman last year and Snyder's Cut Justice League before we get to the next round, give us your answer. So we'll move on to the next one. We've got 3 more battles before we get there. So our sixth battle is the Man of Steel. So Henry Cavill's debut as Superman up against the Suicide Squad. So the most recent one. He's voted Superman hands down, Jacob.
Okay. That's where you give the people the vote.
Oh, I like that. Bye-bye, Snyder's Cut. So we're going to go Man of Steel up against the Suicide Squad.
The one with John Cena?
Yeah.
I'm going to go the Suicide Squad.
I think I definitely preferred Man of Steel. I thought everything to do, both Suicide Squad products I thought were horrible. I didn't enjoy them at all.
You didn't like Peacemaker?
I like Peacemaker, but that's not enough to make that whole movie decent. So I also think the fact that they redid it was a bit odd. I know it was a different story, but I was like, we already had a Suicide Squad movie. So again, we're on the fence. So we're going to need your help. We're deciding between Man of Steel and the Suicide Squad, most recent Suicide Squad. So
if it was the older Suicide Squad, I would go Man of Steel.
Okay, so whilst we wait to hear the verdict, we've got the Batman Begins up against the Flash.
There's a comment.
Did you like Dangerous Animals? Not sure what that is.
Don't know.
Unsure. But thank you, new person. Who's that picture of? So if someone wants to give us a vote, let us know. We're needing to know between Man of Steel and the Suicide Squad. So our next battle. Oh, thanks from Stacey. So we've then now on to Batman Begins versus the Flash.
I think it has to be Batman Begins, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like the Flash. People hated on it. I don't think it was bad, but the Batman Begins is, I actually think out of all the Nolan Batmans, that's my favorite one. I actually think I liked it the most. I think it was the coolest of them all. I think
that's not a bad choice.
I think the other ones get like they're kind of epic, but I just think that was a really solid start. I enjoyed it. So our last battle before we move into the next round. So we've got Batman Begins. Thank you. That was pretty clear cut. So this one is a divisive one. Batman: The Dark Knight Rises versus Batman: The Dark Knight.
I think I got to go with the Dark Knight because of Heath Ledger, and the Joker's so iconic that I think the Joker overshines the Batman in his own movie.
I agree. I think the Dark Knight Rises was good, but it's kind of like the fact it was the end, and I think maybe they could have made more movies. Where the Dark Knight as a standalone was pretty fantastic, and yet Heath Ledger. So we've got ourselves an answer. Our vote is for the Suicide Squad because of Polka Dot Man alone. So bye Man of Steel. Another question: will you see Sam Raimi's movie Send Help? Yes, I would like to see that movie.
It looks interesting, actually.
I think that looks really good. So that's the Rachel McAdams one. Is that right?
Yeah, and Dylan O'Brien.
Yeah, actually, I think that I saw the trailer for that the other day. I really, really want to see that.
Thank you for the comment.
So in our next battle,
Is this the quarters or semis?
this would be the quarters. So then we have the Joker versus Shazam.
Oh, the Joker.
Again, I'm going to agree with you. I think that the Joker will be pretty hard to knock off here. Wonder Woman versus Suicide Squad.
Oh, Wonder Woman.
Agree. I was willing to get rid of Suicide Squad last time. The Batman versus Batman: The Dark Knight.
With Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a comment.
Yes, that is terrific. And the Joker, Wonder Woman. Okay, so the Batman versus the Dark Knight.
I'm gonna have to go with the Batman.
I agree. I almost think that is my favorite Batman movie. I think it was just so different and unique.
Unfortunately, I think the thing that brings the Dark Knight down is when I first saw it at the movies, and what makes it so iconic is the Joker. And unfortunately, it's the Batman movie, and I think what makes 2022 Batman movie better, in my opinion, is that I feel like the Batman and the Riddler on even terms, of that they're as even as each other, and that's why I think the Batman's better than the Dark Knight.
So the last one of the quarterfinals: Superman 2025 versus Batman Begins.
Batman Begins.
I think, as I said just before, Batman Begins was maybe my favorite of the Nolans. So then that leaves us with, we've got the Joker versus Batman Begins.
Even though I love the Batman, it has to be the Joker.
I actually think I like Batman Begins more. The Joker's good, but every time I rewatch it, I enjoy it less. Where I feel like the original Batman, I think I completely love. So we're going to need a vote here. Dangerous Animals was the movie with Jay Courtney, like to feed women to shark least. What got them? Oh yeah, it's like the Australian movie that was filmed like in the same city where we live. I haven't seen it. I saw the trailer and it looked like a typical bad Aussie movie, so I didn't watch it. Yeah, basically had all like the same, bad Australian actors in it that I don't think are very good. So yeah, that was filmed near us.
Oh, was it?
So we're going to need a vote here. We need Joker or Batman Begins because we're at a stalemate.
Yes.
So whilst we're waiting for that, in the other semi-final, we have Wonder Woman versus the Batman.
Oh, the Batman.
I agree. Wonder Woman's all right. Said Batman Begins, but it's really close.
Ooh.
The Joker is gone.
Two Batmans versing.
So, in the final, my two favorite movies, I think, The Batman versus Batman Begins.
Wow. I'm going to have to go with the Batman 2022.
I'm going to stick with The Batman Begins because my logic now is because I know that the follow-up movies are good. Where I don't know the Batman is unknown. So I know that The Batman Begins next two movies are fantastic. So if I had to choose between watching those two, I think I would stick with Batman Begins. So To the audience, for the winner, we need to know between the Batman and the Batman Begins for the DC versus.
Yes.
Okay. So we will get a response soon. Oh, it disappeared. Okay, so while we wait to find out the winner for that, so we've talked about the DC versus what we're going to watch next. I asked you if there's any movies you regret seeing. Having a bit of time to think about it, do you think that your top 5 list from last year, here we go. Oof, I have to go with The Batman.
Ooh.
Because it was a much better debut, and I'm just judging both of you off then. That's fair enough. Okay, so my logic was I thought The Batman Begins was better because it had good follow-ups, but yeah, you're going based upon face value and a debut, so yeah, I'm happy with that. So our winner is The Batman with Robert Pattinson, which was a movie that I think a lot of people thought would suck.
Yeah.
When they heard that they were recasting Batman again, they were disappointed. I think when they saw Robert Pattinson as Batman, they thought, nah, it won't work. And he may be the best Batman. Not the most iconic, I think.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale will probably be remembered by the most people, but maybe the most iconic, someone like the earlier ones. Why are the names on the tip of my tongue? But like some of the earlier Batmans, I think are going to be iconic. The Adam West one, particularly, is fairly iconic. But yeah, I think Pat is maybe the best Batman. Maybe because he's the youngest. Well, I don't know if he's the youngest actor at the time, but he plays a young Batman, which I think is quite cool. Michael Keaton, that is the one. I think a lot of people will consider that quite iconic. And then who's the gentleman that recently died that was in Top Gun?
Bill Crampton.
Val Kilmer. I think a lot of people think Val Kilmer was quite an iconic Batman. And who can forget George Clooney? What a great Batman. I love those movies as like a 10-year-old boy, but now they are so bad.
Yeah.
So I think, I think Pattinson could go on to be the most iconic Batman, mainly because they're playing as this like young kind of beginner Batman, like even in the movie, like falls over and like isn't great at using his skills yet, which I think is really cool. So I love that. So what was the question I was asking for that?
Would there be any change to my top 5?
Yeah. You still think Superman's the worst movie of the year?
I don't think it's the
George Clooney's bat nipples is your favorite.
Very funny. I guess maybe most overrated, not the worst movie of the year. I guess that's harsh, but the movie that I would probably change might be maybe the comedy movie with actually Code 3 would be movie that I would change. What's basically about this paramedic that's like sick of being a paramedic, and then he like goes to cases. I would highly recommend watching that.
I don't think I would change my top 5. I think as time goes on, I'm starting to dislike Sinners more.
Oh, really? What's making you dislike it more?
Oh, just the more I think about it, that I'm just really getting the sense that it was crazy. Like, it just disappointed me. Every time I think about how much I loved the first, 75% of the movie. And it upsets me to think that it could have been so much better. And I really, really enjoyed the musical side of things. The Black history was fantastic. I just generally think the vampires was unnecessary or not done enough. It was like we got a taste. I think that the movie, I know this isn't anything new, but I think the movie should have been no vampires, and it was about them dealing with the fact that they mentioned in the movie that they stole wine from the Italian mafia. They took beer from the Irish mafia. The Klan is coming after them. I think that alone is what the villain should have been. I actually think the vampires was unnecessary, or they needed to go hard on it. They needed to have the, more use of the indigenous the Native Americans. They needed to utilize that more. They need to be more like weird occurrences going on and like people being worried about the vampires. But the fact they came in kind of were very weird. They did the little dance, and why this belief that music was going to help them connect to their ancestral past, I just didn't like that. I think that it needed to be heavily on Black history and move away from the supernatural, or go harder into the supernatural. Because by the time that came in, the movie was, on a completely different trajectory.
Yes.
So the more I think about it, I like the movie less because of how good it could have been. But I do know they'll be divisive. It's going to win a lot of awards. It was nominated for a lot of awards. It upsets me that it could have been better. Everyone hates vampires and sinners, but if you don't have the gimmick, it probably wouldn't have been. Yeah, I understand that too. I think that I really got the sense that the director was told he needed to make a vampire movie, and then he's really wanted to make a Black history movie. And he's just like, oh, how can we mix the two together? And maybe that was the criteria. It had to be vampires. But I think they probably still could have went harder with it. I have this sense that there was lots of extra scenes that got removed. I really think that there was things that they had planned to show and it didn't happen. So the vampires felt skipped over because, well, it's going to be a 4-hour movie if you kept everything in. And that's my thought. I think that there was things removed.
Yeah, it's very much a movie that has too many elements involved in it. I think that's the problem. I think it's a great movie, but I think it either needed to be a history epic or a supernatural vampires and going deeper with the vampires. I know I've spoken about this plenty of times, but I think the Indian tribe, I think they should have explored that. Or I hope they do something with this world to have them in a TV show or something else. Because if they don't, I think it's wasted potential not to have something else in this world. And like you said, with the mob, they can have like a side with the mob or anything really.
Yeah, I was just captivated watching them, drive around and seeing. I always like things that are set in the past. I'm a sucker for that, so I enjoyed that. And seeing, I don't know if it's the appropriate thing to say, but I guess it was like the slavery that was going on and like the community that the Black people lived in, and I just found that really interesting to watch because it's something that we don't learn much about. We only see it through cinema. So to see that, it felt real. It felt like from the perspective of, the enslaved opposed to the slave owners. It's just a very different perspective. And I thought it felt really real. I just enjoyed the two characters that Michael B. Jordan played. And I would have loved to have seen it go down that path more. I think as well that it started strong with, seeing the guy coming to church and he's like covered in the blood. And so you really thought, okay, this is going to get full on quickly and be about vampires. And we waited so long, like maybe you remove that start and you just watch it and then the vampires come more of a shock. You're sitting there waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
I feel like there needed to be something leading up to it. Like they go around town and people are like, oh yeah, like cattle's been eaten by something overnight. What's going on? Like need to be a few more little things going on. So that's my thought about Sinners.
See, we've got a comment there.
Yeah, we already put it up. He said, oh boy, can't wait to have this discussion with you live because I have a lot more to say. I think it is definitely one of those movies that have people talking.
Indeed.
It's interesting that it's been nominated for so many awards and it's obviously quite popular around the world. But besides yourself, I don't know anyone else that's seen it.
Really?
Yep. I don't know any other person that I speak to on a that I know in person, face to face, that's seen it. So I feel like it was a movie that I don't know whether it was financially popular here, but I don't know anyone else that's seen it.
So for the next versus battle, should we do comedy or sci-fi or what do you think? And also as the audience, you can decide as well. What do you think we should do next?
Comedians.
Comedian movies or comedians?
Just comedians in general versus to determine our favorite comedian.
Okay. So that's like Adam Sandler, Owen Wilson, Ben
Yeah, so
Stiller.
I'm thinking movies, like ignore stand up. So when I say comedians, I know some people think, well, you're talking about stand up. I'm talking about funny. Let's go funny actors, because there's obviously lots of actors that are in comedies that have never done stand up. So we'll just go, but top whatever. We'll find our versus battle of our funniest actors.
So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching, and let the force be with you, and see you in the next live stream.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.